Hello, guys. Today's episode features a terrifying tale that happened on a reservation. As a half Navajo and Hopi, I've had my share of experiences on and off the Navajo and Hopi reservation. I hope that I won't get any ridicule from other Native Americans for posting these stories. One experience that I'd like to share happened when I was 14 years old. I'm 29 now, so you can do the math. This was an experience that I've only shared with a small number of people, and that I'm now writing down for the first time. My brother, who's now a hardened soldier, is still scared about what happened to us this particular evening. Anyway, on with the story. As a teenager, I'd visit my grandmother at her home on the Navajo reservation for several weeks every summer, and I'd spend time with her, eat her delicious bread, and hear all her stories. Every so often, my grandmother would hire a worker to do odd jobs around her house and property. It was usually the harmless town drunk that she had hired. One evening, right before sundown, I had asked my grandmother to take him home, which was about 4 miles outside of the valley. Seeing that I was only 14 years old and being asked to drive a truck, I was more than happy to. Mind you, I was on the razz that nobody really cares that you're 14 years old and driving around. Hell, there's hardly anybody out there to see anyway. My 9-year-old brother jumped in the truck cab with me, while this worker and my dog shared the tailgate of the truck. After I dropped the worker off at the shack that he and his brother called a house, we headed back down the road to Grandma's. As mentioned before, it was evening and the sky was a deep red as the sun began to set behind us. We were leaving a nice dust trail from the dirt road, and the radio was playing music from the only station that could be picked up from the nearest town of Holbrook, Arizona. There was nothing unusual, nothing weird. It was at this time that my eye caught movement of something in the bushes, a little up the road, right ahead of us. I remember slowing down, thinking that it was one of the free-roaming sheep in the area that would dart out in front of the truck. As I passed where I thought I saw it, I sped up, thinking nothing else of it. Then, out of nowhere, I just felt this dark feeling of fear and dread. I had no idea why I was feeling this way, but I definitely felt something was weird. Yes, I played this memory back in my mind. There are only a few clear memories that I have of that evening. I clearly remember looking back in my rearview mirror and seeing a dark silhouette of something very tall and very skinny that seemed to be covered in some kind of hair or fur running behind the truck after us. Whatever it wasn't a normal human or even human at all. I remember hearing my brother crying and my dog barking ferociously at whatever was chasing us. I remember speeding very fast and shaking violently as the truck bounced on the washboard dirt road. I distinctly remember that this thing was getting closer as my brother cried, "It's coming up on your side." I remember being scared as hell and thinking that I didn't want to die. At the moment that I thought would be our last, I remember speeding around a bend in the road and seeing a car coming up towards us in the opposite direction. At that moment, I felt instant relief and thought that whatever was following us was gone. Shaken up but still alive, we made it to my grandma's house, wondering what the hell had just happened. We ran inside, not looking back, hoping whatever was chasing us hadn't followed us home. Yes, we told Grandma about our experience, but she didn't seem too surprised, which in turn surprised us. She continued by repeating stories that we had already heard at one point or another, talking about black magic, witches, and something about the Navajo school Yee Naaldlooshii, Skinwalkers. Without going too deep into explanation, I'll just say that these Skinwalkers are evil men and spirits that use black magic for evil doing. One can only become a Skinwalker by killing a close friend or relative, and us Navajo don't like to talk about them because it's believed that once you acknowledge them, they'll find you. I tell you that as far-fetched as it sounds, they are real. I believe that if God and His greatness are real, the devil is equally as real, and also has his way of showing himself. Needless to say, I didn't even want to look out of the window for the rest of the night. As a matter of fact, I never drove on the reservation at night again until I was 21 years old. This might not sound particularly scary to some, but what happened that evening really did happen and scared the living crap out of me. I invite anybody to visit this part of Arizona, and if you have any doubts or want a huge scare, I promise you won't be disappointed. Did you like the story? Check out our channel for more.